So when you're learning how to play the guitar, one of the most fun things you can do, and this is also really rewarding, is learning songs. Because learning songs not only gives us something that we can play that resembles something that we already listen to, which in itself is a great benefit because it takes you from just aimlessly strumming through chords to actually having a piece of music that sounds like something, but also gives us a really cool measurement of our own abilities on our own journey as guitar players. You'll see this in the songs that you learn. When you first start out, you might learn some songs that just contain a couple of simple chords, and then as you progress as a guitar player, you start learning more complex songs with complex techniques and so on. So learning songs is a great and very fun part of your guitar journey. And in this video, we're going to be learning 4 classic acoustic songs, ranging from very simple to intermediate, all with the aim of getting you that little bit further on your guitar journey. So all of the songs I talk about in this video are actually listed out with a little bit more of an explanation and some of the chord diagrams in a blog on my guitar course website, Right Notes Music Tuition. So if you scroll down to the description of this video, you'll see a link that will take you straight over to that blog. I'm also running a 7-day free trial on the course. So if you guys enjoy this lesson and you want to dig a little bit further into your guitar playing, check out the free trial for my guitar course. It doesn't cost you anything, and it gives you 7 days access to my entire beginner's guitar course. So let's dive into the 4 songs we're going to learn in this video. We're going to start with a really simple song by Fleetwood Mac, and this is the song Dreams. This is a great song to learn because it literally uses 2 chords, F and G. We're going to be using a slight variation of the F chord when it comes to the chorus of the song, and we're also going to be doing a slight rhythmic variation, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. There's basically going to be 2 parts of the song, so I'm just going to play a couple of bars of the verse part and then a couple of bars of the chorus part, just so you can hear what's going on, and then we'll break down how to play this. So what I was playing there was basically just the same 2 chords with a slight rhythmic variation. Now, technically speaking, the verse of this song doesn't really have a lot going on guitar-wise in terms of rhythm. The acoustic guitar primarily sits in the chorus of this song. But what you can do is you can follow what the bass is doing and create the same sort of vibe. So the 2 chords that we're going to be using for the verse are going to be an F chord, and you can play this as a full bar chord if you want, or you can play this more simplified version. To play this, I'm going to be playing the 1st fret on the E and B strings together with my index finger, the 2nd fret on the G, and the 3rd fret on the D. I'm leaving out the E and A strings. And then the other chord is a G chord, which by now you probably already know. You can either play that as a full 6-string G, or just stick to the higher notes of the chord depending on what feels easier for you. Now rhythmically, we're playing on the 1 and 3 as our strong beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're also adding a quick strum before those 2 strong beats. So it's the of 2 and 4. 2E and 1, 3, 1, 3. So in context, it's going to be 1, and then a 3. Then we're doing a 1 when we come back round to the next bar, but we're going a 1. That's what the chord change is. And then we're doing the same thing. So that's the 1, then it's a 3, a 1, a 3, a 1, a 3, a 1. You'll notice we're always changing chords on that 1. Now that alone will actually get you through the entire song. You can play the verse, the pre-chorus, you can even play the chorus with that same rhythm if you want. You can also do a slight variation for the chorus as well. And you don't have to do this. This is what the acoustic guitar is doing on the record. But if you want to just simply get through the song, just use those 2 chords in that rhythm, and that will see you through the entire song. If you want to play the chorus exactly like it is on the record, you can use this slight adaptation to what we've just learned. So instead of playing an F chord the way we just learned it, we're actually going to be... So instead of playing the F chord the way we just learned, we're going to be playing an F major 7. Now to play this, all we're doing is releasing the pressure of the index finger on the high E string. So the high E string is now going to be played open. So it's going to sound like this. So I'm actually playing the open E, the first on the B, the second on the G, the third on the D. And I'm still playing my regular G chord. Now rhythmically, I'm changing this up slightly as well. On the F major 7 chord, I'm playing 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm coming to the G chord, and I'm playing 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. So it's basically the same rhythm, but the F has one less strum. And that is all you need to actually play that song. You need the rhythm of the verse, which just follows the bass, because there's not really any prominent acoustic guitar going on there, and then that chorus rhythm. Or like I said earlier, you can literally just play that first rhythm through the entire track. The second song I want to show you is a really simple song that uses one chord progression all the way through, and this is Songbird by Oasis, and it's going to sound a little bit like this. Now this song uses 3 quite simple chords. The first one is a G, but it's really, really important here that we're using our third and little fingers to play the 3rd fret on the B and E strings. These 2 fingers are not going to move for the entire song. So we're going to be playing that G chord. Then we're coming to this next chord, which is called a D sus4 over F sharp. So what that means is it's a D sus4 chord like this, but we've got an F sharp in the bass. Now I'm playing the F sharp with my thumb, so when I move from the G to the D sus4 over F sharp, I do this. What you can do is you can use these 2 fingers like so. So I've brought my index finger to the low E and my middle finger to the G. Whichever one of these you play, you want to be using the underside of the finger that's playing the low E string, so in this case the index finger, to mute that A string. The same if you're doing it with your thumb, you want that A string muted. And then after that, these 2 fingers are going to go to an E minor shape, which gives us this E minor 7 chord. So the 3 chords are G, D sus4 over F sharp, E minor 7. Rhythm-wise, we've got a really simple rhythm. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. There's a slight variation at the end of the progression, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the song starts with just 2 bars of G played with that rhythm. That's your intro right there. I didn't play that earlier on because that's a precursor to the verse. So that's just the start of the song, 2 bars of G. Then the actual progression starts. So this is where we would have our verse. This is our whole progression. So we're starting off with 3 more bars of G played exactly the same way. So think of this as bars 1, 2, and 3 now. In the 4th bar, this is where we have a slight rhythmic change. We're doing 1, 2, and 3, 4 and. But we're changing chord halfway through. So it's 1, 2 and on the G, 3, 4 and on the D sus4 over F sharp. Like that. So it's. Then we go to the E minor 7, 3 bars of that with the regular rhythm we're doing. Then we go back to that same altered rhythm, but this time it's the E minor 7 to the D sus4 over F sharp. So that side of it is this. And then it goes back to the G and it goes round all over again. That entire progression will get you through the whole song, and it sounds like this. Just repeat that over and over again and you will be able to play that entire track. The third song I'm going to show you is What's Up by 4 Non-Blondes, and for this one we're going to be using a capo. Now I'm going to show you two different ways to play this song. The first way I'm going to show you is a more simplified version, and that is using the capo on the 2nd fret. The reason I'm showing you this one first is because this is the easiest way to play this song. If you're new to playing guitar, this is a great way to start. Once you become more advanced and you start learning things like full bar chords, then you can learn the other variation, which I'll show you in a moment. Now this is another one of those songs that just has one rhythm that basically repeats throughout the entire song. So the song goes like this. The simplified way uses 3 chords, which is G, A minor, and C. So we're just doing G, A minor, C, G. It's a 4-bar loop that just repeats for the entire song. Now rhythmically what we're doing here is we're going 1 and 2 and 3. Then we're going and but skipping the 4, and then going E and 1 and 2 and 3 and E and So you notice my directions there are down on the beat and on the and the E's and the U's are up. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So that rhythm just repeats for each of the chords. So it's going to be G, A minor, C, back to G. Every now and again on the record there is a slight rhythmic variation which you can learn and use at your own free will if you want to, but it's not super important. That rhythm alone will get you through the entire song. But the variation is, when we played the 3 beat and we skipped the E, so it's 3 and we play 3 E and So there's just an extra strum in there. That would sound like this. So it's that 3 E and E and instead of 3 and E and So it's basically the same thing, but we're just putting that extra strum in there. What you can even do is you can mix the 2 rhythms at your own free will, like so. You'll notice I put that extra beat there on the A minor and the C chords. It doesn't really matter where you put it, it just appears in the song from time to time. But that is the whole song. But if you want to play this the slightly more advanced way, you get rid of the capo. And now the chords you're going to use, so the rhythm is the same I should say, but the chords you're going to play now are A major, B minor, this is our bar chord, and D major. Back to A. So it's the same thing, but we're just using slightly harder chords because of that B minor bar chord. Choose whichever one of those to play that works best for you, whether you want to play it with the bar chord or not. Both will work and both will get you through the whole song. So for the 4th song, we're putting the capo back on the 2nd fret. This is the song Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. This is slightly harder because we're going to be using some finger picking here, and it sounds like this. So we're going to be using some finger picking here, which is slightly harder. If you're a new guitar player, finger picking can be a whole new world. But what we're doing here is actually not as, it's not as difficult as you might initially think it is. It's actually quite a simple process when you get your head around it. So the best way to think about this is that we're basically playing 4 chords here. We're just doing some interesting stuff within those chords. So what we're basically playing is a C chord, a G, we're playing an E minor, but we're playing it like this. So this is a derivation of a bar chord of E minor. What we're playing here is basically it's the 9th fret on your guitar, but you'd view it as the 7th fret because of the capo. And then the 8th fret, which is also the 10th fret of your guitar, we're just talking about it in capo terms, along with the open G. So it's 7 and 8, like so with the open G. It's basically a variation on an E minor chord. Then we're coming down 2 frets to what would be our 5th fret, and the 7th fret on the B string with the open G. And that's a variation of a D major, so it's E minor, D major. So it's C, G, E minor, D. So when we start the song, we're playing the C chord to start with. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking my index finger off here. So I'm playing the B string open. I'm playing the root note, which is the A string with my thumb, and the G and B open together. But when I do that, I'm hammering on to that 1st fret with my index finger. So I'm doing that. And then I'm playing the G and B open again. Then I'm going to my G chord. For the G chord, I'm just playing the root note, which is the 3rd fret on the low string, the 3rd fret on the B string with the open G. So I'm not playing the whole chord. Then I'm picking the B string and the G individually. I'm still fretting that 3rd fret on the B though. So that's my first bar. Then I'm coming up to that E minor chord shape. I'm playing the A string, the G, and the B together. And then playing the root again. Coming down to that D chord. And then I'm doing the same thing there where I'm picking the B and the G. So if I put those together, I get this. Like I said, if you're new to fingerstyle, that's going to be slightly harder. So play that super slow, get all the notes and all the movements together, then work on building up the speed. So that pattern gets played 4 times for the intro of the song, but that is also your verse pattern as well. So that carries on playing through the verse. Now, there is a slightly tricky bar in the intro. There's a variation on the riff. Only happens at the end of the 3rd repeat. Now, you can leave this out completely if you want, or you can learn this. The variation sounds like this. So you notice I played something slightly different there on the E minor and D chords. So the first part's the same. But when we get to this part, we go. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing that E minor chord, but then I'm reaching up 2 frets on the B string to the 10th fret if you include the capo, or the 12th fret of your guitar. I'm playing that note and then back to the note my middle finger's playing. And then going to the D chord. And I'm doing the same thing from the 7th to the 8th fret. That only happens on the 3rd repeat. You can leave that out completely if you want and just carry on playing the rhythm we already learnt. And like I said, that will carry you through the verse as well. The only time the song changes is later on in the song, about 2 minutes in, there's a chorus with strummed chords. Now we're still going to be playing these chords with a capo, but we're actually going to be resorting to the regular chord shapes now. So it's going to be C, G, E minor, and D. This part happens about 2 minutes into the song, then it goes back to the finger picking, then it goes back to this again later on. This bit's going to sound like this. So I'm strumming that with my finger. You can switch to a plectrum if you want, but if you're sticking with the fingerstyle nature of the song, you want to get used to strumming with your fingers as well. I'm just using my index finger for that. You can use your thumb or whichever combination of fingers is good for you. So starting off with the C chord, and we're playing 1, 2, and 4, and. So it's 1, 2, and 4, and. G, E minor, D. So same rhythm for all 4 chords. For the second half of the chorus, we're actually going to be doing some chord changes in the middle of the bar. So the rhythm is going to stay the same, but the first part we're going to do C to the E minor. We're going to go 1, 2, and, that's where we do our change, and 4, and. Then we're going to a regular full bar of D. Then we're doing that change once more. And then another bar of D. So that's. And then the final bar is C to D in the same rhythm. And that goes back to our main riff. So here's that chorus in full one more time. And that is all there is to that song as well. 2 parts. Now that one is slightly harder than the other 3 we've covered in this video, but it's always good to push yourself and take yourself to that next level. You've got the finger-picked part, which is your intro and your verse, and then the strum part, which is your chorus. You're just going to alternate back and forth between those 2 parts for the entire song. So there you go. There are 4 acoustic songs you can start learning straight away. Some of them are really easy, and obviously that last one has its challenges, but that's what it's all about. It's about pushing yourself to that next level. Now, as I said earlier on in the video, if you want to find out more about these songs, there's a link in the description which will take you to a blog post I've written over on my website, which contains all the chord diagrams and a little bit more information about each of these songs. That website is My Guitar Course. It's an online guitar school which has a ton of great resources for guitar players. And there's also a 7-day free trial. So if you like this lesson and you're ready to push yourself to that next level, please check out the free trial as well. There's a bunch of cool stuff over there. It gives you unlimited access for a week to my entire beginner's lesson library. So please check that out. I'd love to see you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your favorite easy acoustic songs are. And also let me know how you got on with the songs from this video. I'd love to hear how you guys are getting on learning these tracks. While you're doing that, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.